Welcome to the Civil War Guru Show. My name is stevemnsn, and I am the Civil War Guru. And today I'm here with my grandson, Brennan Coe, who's operating the cameras and the sound system. And today we're also going to add to the Unsung Hero series. And I'm going to have a little change here today. Instead of Civil War, we're going to take an extra step back in time to the Mexican War. I love the Mexican War history, and there's no more history about the Mexican War than it is from the state of Kentucky. And here in my hands is a sword that belonged to Private Benjamin Branham of Scott County, Kentucky. Scott County is just a little northeast of Lexington, Kentucky. Benjamin joined the war effort in Frankfort, Kentucky in 1846. And as all the troops marched from Kentucky, they headed to Louisville. And in Louisville, they boarded the flatboats and any type of transportation and barges, and they went down to New Orleans. And from New Orleans, they sailed to the Yucatan Peninsula. And there you had two commands. You had General Winfield Scott and General Zachary Taylor from Kentucky. And Mr. Branham was assigned with Zachary Taylor. And just to light brush the history of the Mexican War, it was two different attacks. You had Winfield Scott took half the army and went in one direction to take Mexico City. And then you had Zach Taylor took the opposite direction to flank him and come in behind him. And that's the way they were divided. This gentleman that owned this sword, he fought in the Battle of Buena Vista. And Buena Vista was in February. And the date was the 22nd, is when it started, in 1847. Buena Vista is in the mountains. And at the base of the mountains, there's plateaus. And that's where Zach Taylor was going to make his stand. Now we're going to introduce our old favorite villain, and he is called Santa Anna. That's right, Santa Anna for the Alamo fame. We captured him, and I think it was 36, turned him loose, and here we are fighting him again in 1847. Well, Zach Taylor had 4,000 troops there at Buena Vista. And so Santa Anna decided, well, I've got 20,000, and I'm just going to go in and overrun him. And people forget that the Mexican military was a formidable European-style army. So Zach Taylor used this strategy, as they did in the War of 1812 with Andy Jackson. He got the Kentucky boys there. He got the Tennessee boys there, the Alabama boys. He had Jeff Davis, that's right, Jefferson Davis, Mississippi Rifle boys there. And you had some famous names there who were with Zach Taylor. You had General Sherman of Civil War fame, who was a captain. You had Braxton Bragg, Confederate general, who was a captain. And of course, again, Jefferson Davis. So on the 22nd, Santa Anna arrived in front of the foothills. And the town behind him, in front of him, was Buena Vista. And he sent his couriers in, as he did in the Alamo, and said, I demand your surrender. And Zach Taylor put a few great words together and refused. So they start skirmishing on the 22nd. And by the 23rd, it was full force. And it was battle after battle. I mean, they charged on the left, charged on the right. They used cavalry, they used artillery. But the famous Zach Taylor won the day. There was 4,000 Mexican troops wounded and killed. And there were 600 U.S. troops wounded and killed. Of course, the Mexicans claimed victory and retreated. And Zach Taylor won the battle. During this battle, Benjamin Branham was on a plateau, and his men were ordered to move to a different area. And during that move, the Kentuckians got captured in a crossfire of cannons and canisters, and he lost his left arm. It was blown off, and he was taken to the rear. Anyway, he made it back to New Orleans. They patched him up, blessed his arm, and he came back to Kentucky. In Kentucky, the state made special provisions for the Mexican War soldiers, and they really praised them. And I'm assumed that this sword was one of the items that was given out for the thanks and the gratitude. Engraved on the back is Scott County, Kentucky, with his name in Buena Vista. And Mr. Branham lived until 1879, when he was killed. He was taking his buggy and with his one arm, and he was going up a ravine near Taylorsville, Kentucky, which is in Spencer County, and the horse got spooked and threw him. And when he landed out of the buggy, he broke his neck, and he died. But he was a true American, a true Kentuckian, and now you're going to get an opportunity to look at his sword, and Brendan Cole will get up here and get you some close-ups of it, and you'll really enjoy it. I love Mexican War artifacts. Kentucky artifacts from Mexican War are extremely rare. And I have had a lot of people ask me to put the value on these unsung hero items. And this particular item is worth probably $5,500 to $6,500. And I also have a couple of the guys have written in and want to know what kind of car is in the background here. And this is the 1929 Willis Knight with 11,000 original miles on it. And in front of me here is one of Steve McQueen's motorcycles. This is a 1949 Indian Arrow. So that's what you're looking at. So Brendan Cole's going to get up close and get you some good shots of this. And from the Civil War Guru, have a great day. I just want to add a footnote to this particular sword, and it actually is in the Civil War, is when Irwin McDowell walked into the office of Winfield Scott, who was the Supreme Commander at the beginning of the Civil War, And he took him down on the Potomac, and they looked over toward Richmond. And Scott looked at McDowell and says, you know, you got 100,000 men sitting here. And over there in Richmond, there's no more than 4,000 men strategizing and keeping us from coming there. And he said, let me make mention to you, Mr. McDowell. He said, I took most of Mexico with 4,000 men. And McDowell looked at him, had a slight smile on his face, and he said, General, those are the same 4,000 men sitting in Richmond that we had in Mexico. That's why it's a little tougher than you think it is. So from the Civil War Guru, have a great day.